One was a blowout. The Boston Celtics now 8-8 on the year, losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers 112-84, a 28-point difference. Just ahead, Game 2. Utah returns to the Forum for the first time since losing Game 7 of the playoffs to the world champion Lakers. Let's hear from Rick Barry.
I'm with a man who was very, very close to being the sixth man in the NBA last season in a tight race with Roy Tarpley, Thurl Bailey. Thurl, let's try and get into your head a little bit and talk about what it takes to be a sixth man. What type of mindset do you need preparing for a ball game?
Well, you know, that's when I first was given that role, which was, I guess, about maybe 3 years ago. I had to ask myself that question because, you know, all my life I started, and it was kind of a different transition for me. But I think what it takes is just the temperament to be able to sit there and watch the game and realize what you're going to have to do when you go in. Whether you're going to add more offense to the game, play defense, or basically who you're going to be guarding that night.
All right, and to play in this ball club, you've got a great player opposite you in Karl Malone, and you've got an incredible backcourt, especially with John Stockton. What do you try to do to help the ball club in playing with these two people?
Well, you know, I think basically my role is kind of to give an all-around game. I like to come in and usually I'm guarding one of the league's best players in the three position, like a James Worthy or Larry Bird or Alex English. And one of our biggest assets is the fact that we run the break so well. So usually you'll see Karl on one side and me on the other and Stockton in the middle, you know, which basically is the nucleus of our fast break. And, you know, and just help Mark Eaton block shots and things like that. Just kind of an all-around type of guy. You know, I just like to go in and hopefully change the tempo of the game, kind of upbeat.
If you really had a choice here, I mean, and be honest with us now, if you could be a starter, would you prefer to be a starter and why?
Well, I've been asked that question so many times, and it's tough for me to answer because, you know, I know I can do both. And I think that when you can do that, it makes you a little more valuable. It makes your team a little more valuable. It gives other guys a chance to come in and show a little leadership. But I think in the NBA it's basically an ego thing. There's so many great players out there that you can't start them all. And I think that I would rather come off the bench because it's different, and not a lot of players can do it. You know, a lot of players don't have the temperament to be able to come in and come off the bench when they've been starting their whole basketball careers and come into a game. And it's really not whether you start, it's whether you finish the game or not.
And this man has finished quite a few games, Craig Sager.
Thank you very much, Rick Barry. The Miami Heat also finishing games on the losing end of the score once again tonight. Miami loses, although they did have the lead momentarily in the fourth quarter. We'll be back with highlights in a moment.